It's raining, like real rain. Like woke up this morning and the ground was wet, and now there's something falling from the sky. That's great. I don't think it's going to be long lasting. And predictions last night when I read the weather report state about a 1/4 inch. So we'll take it. And especially if it's this slow, steady drizzle. This has much more of a chance to soak in than a sudden downpour. So fingers crossed. I won't be able to cut hay today, silage today, because it'll be too wet. And that'll be a good thing. Will this break our status as being in severe drought? I doubt it, because we've got temperatures in the high 70s for the next week, and I didn't see any rain predicted in the long-term forecast. So 1/4 inch isn't going to do much to break the drought, but it'll certainly allay fire fears and hopefully green up some ground and get that second cut lifting off the ground a bit better. I'd be happy if it continued like this all day long.
All right, it's Monday, I don't know, 23rd, 24th, whatever, August, whatever. In my lost week. Yeah, so I have to move this stone by Thursday. Oh, important. We're getting a shipping container delivered this Thursday, fingers crossed. It's not a double ender like I wanted. They were way too expensive. They were almost triple the price of what I'm paying for the shipping container by the time it was delivered and tax and everything. It was absurdly expensive, so it's just not worth it. I will make do. I have to, by Thursday, clear this stone out of the way. So we got leftover piles of stone that I was trying to save. I'm going to get them pushed off that way. I'm going to move that pile of lumber, and there's a pile of lumber down there. I'm going to try and shift right now. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to get there from here with the skid steer, so I'm just going to have to hand stack it. Because if I can gain a little bit of room right in that pile of goldenrod and clear out and push back over that way towards the tree, and also push back over that way, that'll suit my purposes long-term goal. So that's good. Just have to see if I can do it. I still have to, I'm watching the weather where I'm taking advantage of this break in the rain right now. Thankfully, we've had a nice, steady, heavy-ish rain all day. I don't know how much rainfall we've gotten, 1/2 inch maybe. It's more than predicted, I think, because it's been going on since we've got up. And that's great. It's afternoon right now, so, and it's supposed to continue. Fingers crossed. That means I'm probably not going to cut silage today. I'll have to push that off till tomorrow when it's not supposed to be raining. Maybe tonight if this stopped and the wind kept up, and maybe tonight I'd cut it late. But we're just going to see. I need to focus on this because we've got to get the pigs out of the horse trailer. And this shipping container is part of that solution. Meanwhile, I'm not running the tractor very often because of the crack in the housing and it leaking so much hydraulic fluid every time I use it. It's not a can't use the tractor ever. In fact, I'm about to use it to move a bale for tonight for the cows. But it is, I don't want to just use it because hydraulic fluid's expensive. It makes a mess, contaminates the environment. And if something were to go wrong worse, or it was to break worse, I don't know when that part's coming. Additionally, I am babying the tracks on the skid steer because a cable has broken in one of them. They keep popping off, so I'm assuming that they're stretched. I've been pricing new tracks. The original, to get them manufacturer recommended tracks for this thing, almost $7,000. No way. The bigger excavator doesn't even require that expensive a track. So I found some aftermarket tracks that I'm investigating buying. Don't know how good they are. I'm waiting for some dudes on a Facebook forum to recommend some options. I think one of them did, so it could be about $2,000 instead of $7,000, which would be still more than I want to spend, but okay. I'm also thinking of not getting the Z pattern. Apparently that's great for snow and ice and slippery conditions, which, yeah, I've had problems in slushy snow. This just turns the ground to ice. But also this has a lot of grip. Probably turns out too much grip for what I'm using them for. Got someone here. So I might go with a different pattern, so we'll see. And this could be part of why the skid steer drives really rough, but also why I'm tearing them up so much and why it's really difficult to drive on the different conditions, the asphalt, the concrete. All right, I'm down here mowing the field. It's Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock. I got 2 acres to do. I'm just going to clear the parking lot field and do the other 2 and come back today and rake and bale them. Just get this done, out of my way. I've got the shipping container coming tomorrow, midday, early afternoon. So I just need the time. I need to get this out of the way. It rained all day yesterday, thankfully. Grass is a little wet right now, but in the sun it's dried off. So let's get this done. This first, I don't know, I think it's a little bit more than half an acre. Has the deep wheel ruts from first cut left in it. I got to come back tomorrow morning first thing and fix them so that it's easier for people to park in here for the wedding. So yeah, thankfully that little bit of rain should help soften up the ground a little bit. Bring the land plane over on the tractor here. I've never used it on the tractor, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, I'm mowing in second gear here just because this field is so bumpy. I don't feel like jarring or damaging anything today. I just need to get this done. And I keep threatening to get back here and trim these overhanging apple trees. I never do. All right, into the bumpiest part of the field with, well, I've ordered a hydrology map of this field. We had one done for our farm, the home farm, and it was fascinating to see where LiDAR and other, observational technologies were showing moisture travel under the ground. So I've ordered one for this farm so that I know where we could put drainage, because drainage is big. We got to drain this field. It's always wet in this upper corner, and this past spring was no exception. The rest of the field was pretty good. I need to get something to level out the compaction though. This field doesn't grow well. And that's also part of a soil amendment issue. We need to get some lime on this farm. But it's looking like there's a good amount of grass. I'm clipping it right down on the deck because this field is going to be the parking lot. So it doesn't matter if it's scalped a little bit. And I'm not going to be back. I am not expecting a third cut out of this. Some of the other fields maybe, but chances are not. So just had the mower misadjusted a little bit. I'm not sure how I'm mowing this section where these ruts are. I'm not sure how I'm going to rake them. And I'm probably grinding off the tops with the mower. Again, that's why I like a drum mower, because it's disc mower would not do well on any of my fields. They're just too fragile. I wasn't going to cut these fields. They were going to park elsewhere on the property, and there's going to be a shuttle for the wedding. But apparently that was overruled. So I do what I can to accommodate, because these are good people and they let me pay their land and help improve it.
it's all good. I'm running the PTO in economy mode, not only to save fuel, because I don't feel like filling up in between. Just a couple minutes from the farm, so I don't want to mess with having to drive over and refuel, but I also don't want to be going any faster than I am right now. Yoicks, in a way. I'm already bumping around and missing spots, so. Slow and steady wins the race, right? All right, well, that's it for mowing. Did it in about an hour and 15 minutes, which is kind of bad. I mean, on rough fields, I've been averaging about 3.5 acres to the hour. And I want to say this is just about 2 acres. So, but yeah, they're rough, they're small, they're beating me up. But it looks like there's a decent amount of grass. I mean, I have no idea how many bales to expect, especially because I'm going to leave the pressure crank right up. If I get 4 bales out of this, I'd be happy. I'm just got to wait for the mower to wind down, and I can put it in transport mode. Let's get out and see what we're like here. Oh, yeah. Did that. All right. That sucks. Oh. That's not easy to recover from. Set the mirror back to where it should be. That's close enough. The grass is a little yellower than I'd like. Here's some of that Japanese millet. Yeah, very yellow because, you know, there's just been no moisture. But, and it's in this field, it's not overly hectic. You know, they're already starting to wilt down. It's feels nice and warm out here. The temperature gauge, the thermometer says it's about 71 degrees, which is odd for this time of August. End of August, it should be a lot more than that. Looks like the hydraulic leak is, you know, not horrendous. So it gets worse when I'm baling because I'm using the hydraulics more. All right, I got to put this thing in transport mode. And then get out of here. Here's the worst of the damage. It's on this field. There's a little bit over there, but nothing like it was here in the headlands, and on the other headland it was just rutted up something fierce. Still some ruts, but once I get this raked and baled off tomorrow morning, I'll come back with the land plane and just kind of at least hit this front headland area on both these little fields, and hopefully that'll make them parkable. All right, let's get this thing in road mode, get it home, drop it off, get this raked and baled. So raking away here, hay bobbing away, and we made the decision to not buy a new rake or a new used rake, just to keep cash flow up. And I'm not happy about that decision. Let me tell you, because the hay bob is not working. I'm leaving about half the grass that I mowed behind because it's just not up to the task. It's good in a heavy crop and a square field without a lot of turns. But this is not good. That little field, I probably left about half the grass behind. I've got lumpy, crappy windrows, and yeah. I am bailing away here, and I am not happy. It is not going well. The first bale, which took over an acre to make, Didn't tie. I tried twice. I thought it had tied. I dumped it. Fell completely apart. Now I gotta try and rebale that. I'm just cleaning up everything else in the big section. So the first two little fields make up just under an acre, and then this one's like 1.2 acres or something like that. And I'm beginning to think these fields are cursed, because these are the fields that broke the baler in the first place when I plugged it full of mud. And now this year, right, this cut, it is light. There's nothing here because of the drought. I'm beating myself and the equipment up driving over the bumpiness, and I barely have enough to make a core now out of out of what was here. So, you know, I've been trying to improve these fields. I've put fertilizer out. I think I put lime out, a little bit of lime on them last fall. I need to do more. They massively now need aerated and to have the compaction removed. That is a lot of its problem, is too much compaction. But then, yeah, there was just no yield thanks to the drought. And so I'm just barely up to being able to tie the core and try and maybe I'll rebale some of that and make a smaller bale. Just have two smaller bales. Anyway, 2 bales out of 2 acres is pretty pathetic for second cut for fertilized fields. I mean, I guess I'll be happy to take what I can, but yeah, I got to. These fields need to yield better, because you spend a lot of money on nothing and don't have any. It's not to buy silage. So yeah, I don't know why the dang baler didn't tie. That's frustrating. Yeah, not happy that that's spilled out and wasn't tied. So hopefully the tie works this time. And that's the exact problem I had in this field during first cut. Not only was I fighting a rainstorm and it was the first time out with the baler, but I also was having tying issues, and I thought I had that resolved. So anyway, I mean, the problem is this grass is short even without cutting it. So all right, let me get this spread out and see if I can ease into this mass of already chopped hay and bale it. All right, I made a couple of windrows and spread it out. I got to do more, but it's hot. I'm tired. I'm old and whiny, and it really sucks not having a rake, second tractor with a rake in the field or help. And that I'm making 2 bales out of 2 acres. That's pathetic. Okay. Let's see if I can carefully ease into this, finish a bale. Well, it didn't tie again, but I haven't dumped it, but it also thinks that I need to dump it, even though it's a small bale, and I don't know what to do. It's not getting the message. It's getting the message to tie, but it's not activating the roller that helps feed the twine. So now I gotta go troubleshoot. What should have been a simple half-day's project has turned into an all-day nightmare. Stupid fucking wedding, stupid fucking hay. Okay, I can't figure out what happened. I think maybe a branch, a piece of rush or something, whatever I said before, got caught in the actuator flap. But another problem, now I've got a partial bale in the baler, and the door started coming open, and I can't get the baler started again because the bale started spilling out the door. It's only a small bale, just barely a core, and so I would have to dump the bale in the field and have it wasted in order to get the baler started again, in order to try the twine tie. So I think I'm going to cut my losses and head back to the farm, dump this so I can feed it to the cows, come back and try and bale up this remaining bit and see if I can get it to tie. So we're headed back to the farm with a partial bale inside the baler. I know that's not recommended, I know that's not good, but I don't have any other solution other than wasting the grass. This is also the first time I've tried baling unwilted grass. Basically, I cut it and I tried to bale it. So I'm sure that there is some of that. It is heavier than wilted grass, and I was also putting a lot more pressure on it. All of these things may be a factor in this debacle. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to try and get home and come back. All right, mission accomplished. Bale, or grass rather, because it's not baled, dumped out and cleaned. The PTO works. Go back and see if I can rebale the rest of that other faulty bale and get it to tie. Testing the tying is really the only reason I'm going back with the baler. I could go back with a grapple and a trailer, probably be faster. But I want to make sure this thing ties, because sooner or later I got to go do 8 acres of first cut, late first cut. Anyway, now that worked. So obviously it was that little piece of twig or reed or whatever it was. It seemed like it was hollow stem. I don't know what it was. Anyway, yeah, it was about 1 foot long and was just caught in a strange way so the actuator couldn't actuate. Go figure. Anyway, I baled up another, 3/4 size bale and cleaned up the field, and I'm hauling it back in the balers so I don't have to go back and collect bales. I will feed these to feed the grass that I dumped out a minute ago, literally like 5-10 minutes ago, and I will feed this one out as well. The silage isn't siled, it'll last a couple days longer than this fresh grass. So yeah, that's that field cleared, 1.5 bales. Not good, very dry, droughty. Then I'll go back and try and fix those ruts with the land plane. Might as well take care of it all today.
All right, I'm out here trying to establish a final level grade on the pad. Shipping container should be here soon. Just waiting on word that they've loaded it up for delivery. Got a couple of low spots, like right there. And it seems like everything slopes that way a little bit. So I'm gonna just get some points here and use the land plane and grade them out. A little bit of a snag. The skid steer tracks are made up of rubber and steel, and there's cables that go around the diameter of the track. And so one of the tracks, the cable snapped, and it's just clicking as I go and threatening to throw the track. So I have to order a new set of tracks for the skid steer. I'm going to get a less aggressive track this time, not a zigzag, but a C-lug, which may help. Those are awfully aggressive. They're too much grippy on the asphalt, and that may be one of the reasons why they keep popping off. Is just the adhesion of the track itself. But also I've had problems in mud and snow, which those tracks are supposed to be good for, but if the temperatures are just right, the tracks just mush the snow into ice, and I get stuck. So maybe a different profile will help. But wow, you can really see what happens when the steel cable breaks in the track. See that C shape, how it's kind of curved? Maybe you can't really see it, but it's definitely the inside where the cable broke. It's bowing in that way. And so I'm trying to use the skid steer as little as possible until the tracks arrive, because if I skip that track, chances are I won't get it back on. And I have a lot of things I need to use a skid steer for. So we're just going to take it slow and steady. I'm going to grade the stone over to this low point. I'm just using the laser level and the what's-its to establish grade. I'm pretty good over most of it. It says it could go down, but yeah. So just gonna, I mean, we're right there. We're so close, except on this outside edge. Oh, outside edge says this wants to go down ever so. It really is. Yeah, it really is just a low spot there and a high spot here, basically. I think once the yeah, boy, that's barely it. It's just it really is just right there. So I'm just going to go over it a couple times and back drag some material to that low spot. It's high here, but I'm hoping they can get the initially I was going to put the trailer out figuring I forgot. I thought my fabric was 14 foot. I guess I didn't buy the 14 foot road fabric. So I have 12 foot 6. Turn these off. I have 12 foot 6 road fabric twice. So this is about 24 feet and I overlapped it. So this whole pad, I guess, sits at about 22 feet. And initially I was going to put, if it was 14 foot and 14 foot for 28 foot, which would have been better, this pad would be a little bit lower, but I was going to put the trailer out, the shipping container out 6 feet from this edge so I could skirt the skid steer down alongside the outside edge of it. But that's not practical given the narrow width of how much stone I have here for now, because this is eating up all our extra resources doing this. So I'm going to put it 2 feet from the edge. And that gives me a little bit of a stoned yard here for storing some bales and putting calves out here and give them some access to outside. And then the pigs are going to go on this end of the trailer and go out there to a little yard, I guess. I did expand the slab the other day over to there. The pad, rather, it's not ideal. It basically, let's face it, it's not ideal. But anyway, at least it's coming off level from the driveway and level from there. It's where we need this to be for the shipping container, for eventual barn, for whatever we're going to use this area for. We'll see what happens. I'm waiting, like I said, I'm waiting to hear from the container people. They said they'd let us know when it was loaded and headed out here, but also it could just show up. So we'll see what happens. Just heard from the container people. Container's leaving right now, and it'll be here about an hour and 45 for it to be here. So I am going to finish grading this out, do one last measurement with the laser level, and have lunch while we wait for it to arrive. All right, I think I've got it within an inch everywhere. The shipping container only rests on 4 points, the very back 2 corners and the front 2 corners. So if there's any divots or rises in between, it should go down. I also don't know what sort of disturbance of the gravel will happen when setting it.
So it's not like we're putting on a slab or anything that's, you know, precise.
It's here. Just have to see if we can back in from the road. Sky is sunny and blue now, but for about an hour, we had an intense thunderstorm. Came out of nowhere, wasn't forecast. All of a sudden, as soon as, like moments after the shipping container got dropped off, sky turned very black, wind kicked up, and boom. Got about a 1/4 inch of rain though, so that's good. And it's not raining now. The guy managed to drop the trailer almost exactly where I wanted it, except it's about 2 feet that way too far. So I'm gonna see if I can nudge it back a little bit, because, well, I wouldn't mind it there. I need a bigger pad here by a little bit. And I did manage to use the excavator just before the storm got too bad to nudge it over a little bit. But I think I want this end over more. And I also want to make sure it's square with the building in this corner, otherwise it'll drive my OCD crazy. All right, I've set up a string line roughly paralleling the shipping container. Goes down around and around the backside. Marked it off here at the face of the creamery and did a giant 3, 4, 5 triangle to see about square. So I used 9, 12, and 15. That's 3 times to get a big enough angle. So we're 9 over 12 out, and we are within 1.5 inches of square, which I will accept over the distances that we have. So basically, for all intents and purposes, the shipping container is square with this building. So that's good. I'll roll up the string line, use the skid steer at one end and the excavator at this end. Skid steer is just holding the space so the shipping container didn't rock back and forth. So because we were trying to keep costs down on this project, and I kind of blew the budget on stone, but that's gonna serve us well in the future. If we choose to put a pad here or anything, it'll also help dramatically with drainage on the site. In order to save money, I went with the cheapest possible shipping container, seeing that they've gotten astronomically expensive. And I got one with 2 small holes.
poke down here. And it's severely used, but again, I'm going to put livestock in here. It's never going to be a container home. It could be a workshop. It could be storage now. So anyway, I am going to cut a hole starting at that door, a door starting at that hole and coming over here to that hole and up. And that'll be a barn door to let animals into this section. We're going to put the pigs at this end. There's a gate I have to mount. And then just on the other side, and that's on one side of the door. And then on the other side of the door here, I'm going to have another gate, a space, and then we're going to build a partition here at 10 foot in from the opening. And that will be dry storage for grain and seed and fertilizer, but also a workshop space. We'll put some shelves in here. For now, though, it's just going to be dry storage. I'll build that wall, and then we can put calves in here. Calves can go out. Other calves can be allowed outside, and then pigs can go here. I'm debating what sort of door I'm going to cut in that side. Yeah, let the pigs out, because I don't want them coming out here. They don't need to mingle with the calves. But I do want to be able to feed and water the pigs in here, and then they can live outside and sleep in here. That's the idea. And that's a temporary situation. Eventually, that will be for calves. Yeah, anyway, I'm thinking about putting a round door in. I haven't committed to it. It would be okay for the pigs, and just how to close it. Because we also have to think about how to get the pigs out of here. So if they were in there and we locked this here, if they were in there and we opened this gate and drove them out here, then on the outside, for now, we could have the trailer backed up to a gate here and fencing, so they would come out into the calf area and be loaded into the trailer there. I think that can work. I think it should work. Now, I did manage to get the trailer square to the building. It is level fore and aft. It is not level side to side. It's tipping a little bit towards the downhill side, that way. That in the long run will help shed water and keep water on the backside of things and not dump it in the calf yard. I don't know what that's going to mean as far as manure and slop and stuff in here. I really wanted to get, I picked up these gates and some galvanized fencing panels to build the yard out of. I have more panels, but they're really beaten up. So anyway, I just had these delivered. I paid a delivery charge, a pickup, which was annoying. I was really surprised by the delivery charge, seeing the stores just up the road. I won't be doing that again. I wanted to get stall mats, at least for the pig area, but that is out of the budget. I'm going to order some online because they were half the cost, and I can get more. I can get the amount needed, because if I do, it's like a 10 by 8 area, and the mats come 4 by 6, so that's not convenient. I can go 4 and 4, but I have to cut one down. I have to cut a strip off the edge, or I could go 6 and cut a longer strip, so it'll be 6, 6, and a piece, and a piece. So I think that could be done with 3 or 4 mats to a section. Or I just say, forget about it. We let the floor, what happens to the floor, happen to the floor. And then at some point we gut it and just pour concrete across everything. And that would level things out. I don't know. Not going to worry about the ramp or anything here. Yeah, so I've got some vents to cut in. And we're just going to proceed.